Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to be doing something this morning with Facebook Live that I think will benefit all of us. So give me just a second to pull this up and make this work. I have to go live in order for this to happen. So give me just a second. I want to be able to launch the comment manager here. And I've got the sound shut off so it won't interfere with what we're doing. And it looks like all right, this is what I want to do today. I have a plan. My theme for today, we've been talking about facts now. This is week 2 to talk about facts. What I want to do today is I want to talk about responsiveness to the facts. Okay? Because I think that when you respond to the facts, it matters. And what prompted this? I'll tell you what's going on inside my head that causes me to talk about the responsiveness to facts, because I think this is important. So I'm trying to kind of monitor to see what happens here with my comments in the comment section over here, because I'm going to ask you a poll question in a minute, and I want to get your opinion on it. So, but I'm not getting comments here. So let me quickly refresh, see if this makes a difference. Yeah, there we go. Now we're working. Good deal. All right, this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about responsiveness to the facts. We've talked for 2 weeks now about facts. We talked about the different kinds of facts, manipulated facts, all of that. Then this week we talked about the positivity and bringing a positive attitude to the facts and the things that we see. Today I want to wrap this up. We had a really interesting conversation yesterday, by the way. We had a really interesting conversation yesterday about living in the moment. Tom and I talked about living in the moment and all the things that were associated with that. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, I just really love I was going to post that on Instagram. I was going to post a picture of the coffee shop show on Instagram, and I did a screenshot, and the screenshot is a classic. So you've got to make sure that you take a look at that screenshot that I captured and put in my timeline here. Also posted it on Instagram, so you can see that. That was just a classic and is kind of a pretty good depiction of the way that Tom and I interact sometimes. So check that out if you get a chance. Leave me a comment. I thought it was pretty interesting. My daughter had a really, really interesting comment about that. So I want to make sure that we get a chance to do that. And thank you, Rebecca. I enjoyed talking to you yesterday. I promise that when I get finished here, I'm going to check out my phone and make sure that we don't have phone issues conversing again, because I don't want to have that happen. You have to be responsive to the facts. And the fact was, I'm having a problem with my phone. I need to act on that fact. That's what I want to talk about today. Being responsive to the facts. Now, and here's what happens. People complain about things changing, and the reason why they complain about things changing is because they didn't want it to change. But people don't change just for the sake of changing. They change because they're responding to the facts. Now, when I say that, recognize that since I started talking about facts, there have been 3 changes to the way that Facebook does the Facebook Lives. 3 different changes that have taken place since I started this conversation 2 weeks ago. And I think that what happens is, and as business owners, we have to do this, and you've heard me talk about this a lot, we have to be in the process of change. We've got to recognize that everything that we are doing currently is in the process of becoming obsolete. And if you're not working on the next improvement, if you're not working on the next thing, then what happens is somebody comes along and you become obsolete. So we have to respond well to the facts. Facebook probably made those changes because they were responding to the feedback that they got. And because they were responding to the feedback that they got, they made some changes. Now, does that mean that we're all going to like those? Not necessarily. They're trying to respond to the facts. That's just what a smart business owner does. They didn't get to be the mega giant that they are by not responding. They just have a different way of measuring that than saying, so Eric, what do you want me to do? Because what Eric wants to have done may not be where it really needs to go. So it's really important that we get in the process and the habit of responding properly to the facts. And we have a way to collect those. I tell business owners all the time, you've got to have a mechanism in place to collect facts. So that when people give you feedback, you've got a way to measure that feedback. You've got a way to take a look at it. You've got a way to determine, is this something that we really should be doing? Yesterday, there was an update. Maybe it was not yesterday. It might have been the day before. Sometime in the last week, there's been a major update to the operating system on iPhone. And we're now iOS 11. And I saw several people complaining about the change. Well, the fact is that they changed for a reason. I don't know what the reason is. They didn't check with me first. But the responsiveness to the facts will make you successful in business or cause you to fail. Now, that's true in business. It's true in your relationships. If you fail to respond properly and you fail to respond to the input that you're getting, then you'll have a problem. So responsiveness to the facts is necessary. We talked about different kinds of facts. We talked about manipulated facts. We talked about irrelevant facts. We talked about the accurate facts. But we also need to talk about responding to the facts, that we make sure that we do the things that we get that feedback from, so that we can move our business in a direction that can be beneficial, that actually responds to the needs of other people. We do the same thing in our relationships so that we respond to the needs of other people. We do the same thing in our spiritual walk so that we might be responsive. Now, all of this is about responding to the facts. They're not debated. There's a place for taking a look at them. But once it becomes an established fact, then you have to do something with it. Now, will there be mistakes made? I saw a really interesting example of this week. Coke Zero, which was a 0-calorie, 0-carbohydrates drink, which, in other words, you're just drinking nasty flavored water. It's what it is, with no nutritional value. But Coke Zero had decided that it would help them if they would change the name to Coke Zero Sugar. I don't know how that's going to help. I really don't know how it's going to help. But apparently, their feedback said people are confused about Coke and they don't know that it has zero sugar. So change the name to Coke Zero Sugar, so it will indicate that it has zero sugar. I don't know if that's going to work or not. I have no idea. Coke has made some blunders before, but understand this: they're trying to respond to the facts. And as a business owner, as a human being, as a person who wants to make an impact, we have to respond to the facts. Just have to respond to the facts. So I want to do a little poll today. I am thinking about, on Thursdays, I have typically on Thursdays tried to invite a guest. Now, sometimes I'm successful with that. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes we have people who are eager to come on. Sometimes we have people who want to come on and then they decide not to. So I've tried to have a special time on Thursday for people who would be guests. Now, I want to continue to do that, but I want to make a slightly different focus on that Thursday. And what I would like to do, because I'm always talking about impacting your community, impacting your society, making a difference, what I want to do is I want to talk to people who are involved in that. I want to use that as my public service announcement time, my community service announcement time, when we'll really focus, and I may bring other channels in and experts from those channels that can be helpful in local communities. And so if you think that that's a good idea, whether you're watching this live or in the replay, just put yes in the comment section. Just put yes in the comment section. That way I'll know that you've said that that's a good idea, but I really need you to participate in the poll. So if you're watching this live, if you think it's a good idea, put yes in. And if you don't, just ignore me. But, I need you to respond. I can only respond to the facts. If that's not what you want, then I will not do that. But that's kind of where I want to go with this. So just put yes in the comment section so that I'll know that seems, because I think that we need to bring that emphasis, that local community. How do I impact? How do I make a difference with others? What are they doing? What might we be able to do that would be helpful to them? And so if you'll put yes down below, then that will help me to understand that that's what you want to do on Thursdays. Because I've tried to get guests on Thursdays. We've had some amazing guests. I've had some really, really incredible guests on Thursday. But I think that I want to make that shift, because that's really my passion. My passion is to make an impact in the community. And so I kind of want to shift that emphasis. We've talked about business owners and business leaders, but let's take, because some of the most popular live feeds I've ever done have been the live feeds when I've talked about impacting your, number one, impacting your community, and number two, or changing your world. That, and the other thing was when I have actually talked about people and things and places, like when I talked about the fires, and tried to help you see who was doing what where, so that you might be able to be helpful to them. Those have been some of the most popular live feeds that I've done. So I'm thinking that my audience, you who are so important to me, that you want to hear more of that, and find out those places and causes and people that you might be able to be supportive of. If you don't do anything more than encourage them on Facebook, then you can do that, or share the things that they're sharing, or find a way to do that. But if that's interesting to you, put yes in the comment section, so that I'll know you'll participate in my poll, and I'll know that that's important. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the number of yeses that I get and compare it to the number of viewers. So I really need you to participate in that, so that we can do that, and that will be very helpful to me, and we'll be able to indicate that. Okay? So, but I think we're going to dedicate Thursdays from now on to expanding that footprint of how we make an impact in our community. And we'll have some people that will be experts in that area. We'll have some channels that will highlight, some Facebook pages that will highlight during that time period of things and causes that you might be able to say. I'm not asking you for money. That's not what we're trying to do here. But what I am saying is that sometimes just going, hey man, great job. That's what they need. And sometimes they may need you to participate in a fundraiser or something. But you need to know what's going on that impacts not just your community, but communities all around. We've got huge devastation in multiple areas across our country. And knowing what's going on and being able to talk to people who are there can be very, very helpful to us. And I know several people who are huge in the nonprofit space that need to hear, that need to have a platform. And you've been an amazing audience. And so I'd like to share those people with you. If that's a good idea, put yes in the comment section. And thank you for your time and your attention today. I appreciate everything that you do. I really do. Love my audience, but I also love my community and want to make a huge impact where I'm at. And so I think it's important that we dedicate Thursdays from now on to being able to do that space. So if that's your desire, just indicate so by putting yes. And I'll look forward to hearing from you. So, a few comments here. I want to make sure that we catch the comments before we go. And just wanted to let everybody know how much I appreciate you joining in today. I see Jeremy and Betty and Joanna and Brent. And who else do we have here? My wife, Connie, Ginger, Rebecca has joined us, and spoke with Rebecca on the phone yesterday, so she was had an awesome conversation yesterday. Mohawk Joe is here, so it's always good to see him. Appreciate Mohawk Joe and all of his attention that he gives to us all the time. And who else do we have? Don't want to miss anybody, but I think it's important that we recognize April's here. Brooke just joined us. So thank you for coming on today. Thank you for watching, participating, helping me with my little poll. That'll make a big difference to me. And I always appreciate you. I love you. I want to try to give you the best, the things that can be the best for you. So that was the whole purpose of today, is I wanted to talk about responding to the facts, but I also want to respond to you. Okay? Thank you for joining me. I look forward to talking to you soon.